everybody, and welcome back to Tailored Style. On today's video, I'm starting a new segment called Beauty and Brains. So normally on most YouTube channels, most people do a get ready, and I was thinking to myself, like, I still want to incorporate makeup, I still want to incorporate style, fashion, all of those things into my channel, but I also really want to focus more on motivation, positivity, and talking about life subjects. So I figured Beauty and Brains would be the perfect segment where we get glam, we get beat, but we also talk about life problems. Now in today's video, I am wearing a simple beat. I have a wonderful celebratory dinner that I'm going to for my good friend Leah. She passed her certified, I guess, financial planner thing for her State Farm business, and I'm super proud of her, so I'm going to this after this, so this is perfect timing. So I have a nice cute beat today. Today I won't actually be doing my makeup, but I do want to talk about the subject of being a young person in business. This is what today's Beauty and Brains is about. Being a young person in business. Oftentimes, being so young, I get asked all the time, how did you start? Oh my God, how did you do this? Where did you get the inspiration? How did you get the money? How did you get the resources? How did you do it? I just don't, people want to know. And first things first, I want to start by saying that whether you believe in God or not, all things are by Him, through Him, and for me. If it was not for God, I would not be here. I could not have done everything that I've done, considering all of the trials and tribulations that I went through. I do not know how people keep their sanity without Jesus. And even if you don't believe in Him, I'm just I don't know how they do it. So, first and foremost, that's for me, my number one. Number two, it starts with a drive. When I was 16, I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and it really talked about the differences of what the wealthy people teach their children versus what poor people teach their children. And it made me realize that wealth is a state of mind, poor is a state of mind. These are mentalities, habits, and patterns that are taught over time. We don't even realize they're being taught, because who teaches you about money? You don't even know the answer to that, because guess what? You learned it inherently. You learn the trait of how your family did with money, how your parents did with money. It becomes your own model of how you do with money. And if no one ever taught you any better, you can't do any better. So the first step to me is education. You have to be exposed. Exposure is everything. What you're exposed to can change the whole trajectory of your life. If it was not for the fact that I was exposed to great people who were successful, who had money, who were wealthy, who did things that I did not come from, that my background did not privy me to, I would not even have seen what I wanted to know that I had to go get it. Then the next thing for me after exposure is the drive. You cannot get anything in this life for free. You will work for it. You will work harder than you ever thought you would work in your life for what you want. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but even when you make it there, you gotta work even harder to stay there. It is a constant progression of work. It is not, I worked, I get to reap. No, it is I worked. Eventually one day you'll get to relax some and delegate other things to people, but you do have to work. You have to have a very strong work ethic. And then the next huge thing for me is stress management. You have to find a way to be at peace, because it is the most hardest thing. Sometimes things will happen, things will occur that will be out of your control, and you won't even know how to handle it, you won't even know how to respond to it. And if you freak out, you are pretty much dooming your whole situation, because people give up when it gets tough. You have to be able to persevere through these things and through these situations that come. So then let's get into the logistics of it. The hows, the when, the debt, the money, the this, the that. If you want something, I truly believe that life will open up when you open up. The moment you decide to go get it is the moment you decide that you can take it, that you can have it. So, number one, believe that you can. It all starts in your mindset. What you believe becomes reality. What you think about, you bring about. If you think you can, you will. If you think you won't, you won't. If you think you will fail, you will fail. These are all the principles that I live by. So when I start a concept of something to see it to completion, I have to remind myself, even when it's tough, even when it's hard, Joseph, you can get through this. Joseph, you can do this. And then, ultimately, do not make things problems. Only find solutions. When you say, I can't, you're shutting your brain down. When you say, how can I, you're turning your brain on to figure out how you can do what you want to do. So, for example, the coffee shop. I had no idea when I first came up with the idea of Cup of Joe that it would even be a reality, number one. Number two, I just thought it was way out of my price range. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have, even if I wasn't a millionaire, I'm not even 100,000-aire. I don't have the resources to spend on a whole coffee shop, remodel, building, employees, staff. I'm not there. I'm doing hair in my salon. You know what I mean? And thank God for my renters, because they have, allowed me to be a little bit a step above. But it's I'm not there yet, is what I thought to myself. But the more I thought about the idea, my mind said, how can I? It didn't say, you can't. It just kept saying, well, how can you, Joseph? And so that how can I turned into concepts. That concept turned into action. That action turned into labor. Now, there were several roadblocks along the way, but yet here we are. Cup of Joe is open almost 8 months now, and we won Best in Central Texas. Is it hard? Hell yes. Were there plenty of times I didn't think it was going to happen? Hell yes. Were there plenty of times I was literally have cried myself to sleep over this? Yes. Am I in debt? Yes. Have I given everything I got? Yes. But am I successful? Yes. Because I kept going and my thoughts became a reality. What was once one dream, one pipe dream, one dream that I thought never would come to fruition, yet here we have Cup of Joe and we have the salon. And although I didn't think it was possible to do both, here I am doing both because I believe that I can. So it all starts with the passion. It all starts with the dream. The motivation is the drive. You have to get up. You have to believe you can. You have to think you can. You have to say it. You have to speak it. You have to believe it. And surround yourself with like-minded people. People that can see your vision. People that support your vision. People that will encourage you. And also, another huge thing that I have learned, never base the decisions of what you do off the reliability of people around you. So when you make a move, know that you have to do it. Know that you have to have your own back. If someone helps you, that's great. But do not expect people's help. People owe you nothing. This life owes you nothing. What you get, you go out and you work for it. You take it and you possess it. That's where it comes. That's where the motivation starts. That's where everything starts. So when you say, I'm young, I have a business, I have a dream, I want to be young, I want to be successful, you're really saying, I want to work, I want to struggle, I want to cry, I want to work hard, I want to work 20 hours a week, or 20 hours a day, I want to work 97 hours a week, I want to not sleep, I want to cry, I want to be stressed out, because that's what you're asking for. But all of that, it leads up to the managing, and you learn that certain things become less trivial or less big as time goes on. For example, if I have an AC problem now, it's like, oh my god. 2 years ago, an AC problem would have been like, oh my god, we're shutting down. Now it's like, you better call people. And, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, 600, 500, 7, you don't know, but you have to have that mindset and that concept that I can achieve it. So when you say you're a young entrepreneur, when you say I'm a young business owner that wants to be somebody, you got to have the beauty and you got to have the brains. You got to have the vision and you got to have the goal. And this is just a little quick insert, the Beauty and Brain segment. I plan on doing more in-depth videos and stuff like that, but I wanted to get on here and tackle this first subject. And on the next one, we'll definitely dive into some makeup tips as well to go along with the beauty. But remember that you can strive for whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. Life is worth living. Graves are for the dead. So if you're going to be alive, then you should live. You should follow all of Tailored Style on all of our social media, which would be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. If you'd like to make an appointment, you can go to www.tailoredstyle.us and click the book appointment now if you are in the Killeen, Harker Heights, or Central Texas area. If you have not been by to check out Cup of Joe Coffee Shop, if you're in our area, you need to do so as well. And come see us and come say hi and try the 254. I thank you guys for your love and thank you guys for your support. If you like this look and want me to do an actual video on what I did, how I did it, or the products that I use, please comment down below. Subscribe, like, share with a friend. I love you guys, and remember, always stay good, always stay great, because it takes beauty and brains.